Farrell. I'm Steve Msgr.
I'm Peter Kennedy.
We're here for a special report. As you just heard, Farrell Comiskey unfortunately passed away on Saturday at 11 a.m. Of cancer. And he's been teaching at Farrell for over 50, since the doors opened at Farrell.
Yeah, for 47 years, and it's pretty spectacular if you think about it. He's been here for every single graduating class. So if you came through Farrell, you know Farrell Comiskey, and it's a sad day to see him go.
Whenever I met alumni, they would always ask if he's still around, because he made a difference in their life. And I had him this year, and he really made a difference in my life. Like, he not only taught me calculus, but he taught me so much integrity and so many things that are really gonna help me throughout college. Because calculus, there comes a point where you have to learn that you're not a genius, and you have to understand that there's room for improvement. And I learned that this year by getting some grades I didn't want to see. It was tough, and he really instilled a lot of integrity in me. Now I'm gonna miss him.
Yeah, I had a chance to spend some time with Father Comiskey as an older server. He always helped out with the school-wide masses, and it's sad that not as many people got to spend a lot of time with him as maybe he would hope, because he taught AP Calculus and AP Computer Science. Not everyone takes those classes, obviously, but he was way more than just a smart math guy. Even though he jokes that he may hate English, Monty, you'll know about that. He always jokes about that. But he actually is well-rounded and smart in almost any field. And it's a great guy.
Now, Monty, how long have you known Father Comiskey for?
I first met Father Comiskey when I started to write for The Lion as a freshman. So that's 40 years ago, 1972. And Father actually came here in 1964. So he actually worked with every principal, every supervising principal and brother principal over our history. Taught religion in the beginning and mathematics, because he was among the few priests that would have a master's in mathematics. It was a rarity that a priest would teach math. So, and that was a great tradition. And then at 63 years old, he actually went back to school so as to get the master's in computer science, because he wanted to make sure that we had AP computer science here, and you needed the master's degree to teach it. So 63, most guys are retiring. He said, no, I'll go back to school and get another degree.
Was he always interested in computers and stuff like that?
He was always interested in math, computers, but also, as you fellas had said, very well-rounded. He would kid about history and philosophy and all that, and like all of us, he had to do his bachelor's in philosophy. But he was a very well-read, and he was a great lover of the opera. As a matter of fact, what I think was very fitting, he taught right up to the end of this past year. Then he went to see his favorite in the opera was Richard Wagner, which is a sort of a rare taste among opera fans to begin with. And he went to the last time, he saw the Ring Cycle one more time, and then it was a very sudden onset of cancer that really was 3 weeks. And so he kind of went on his own terms, which was great.
Monsignor, if this might be a hard question to answer, but what's one of your favorite things about Father Comiskey?
He had a great sense of cutting through the nonsense and getting to the point. And it was whatever he was, keep the focus on what was important, do your best, be your best, strive for excellence, and that was his great gift to Farrell over these 48 years of teaching here. The longest any priest taught in the school system in New York was to his Father Comiskey.
Wow. He should have just been the principal.
Well, that was one thing he knew. He was not one for administration, but he was a great, I know for all of us in the rectory, from the days when there were 10 of us in the rectory years ago when I was teaching here, to now, he was a great sounding board, and you could always rely on good common sense advice from him.
Now, did he teach you calculus?
No, I was not a calculus person. I got to know him through the newspaper, but he had a great influence on the guys in my time. He had a great influence on me. One of the reasons I'm a priest today is because of him. So his influence went beyond the math and computer types.
Because I remember when Frank Artali came back last year, he talked a lot about Father Comiskey and how he really inspired him and helped him out to get him to a point where he is in his life today.
Right.
And I want to ask you, how would you describe his impact on Farrell and Farrell's students?
Well, since Saturday, the word, and the word spreads through the alumni. That's what we've been hearing time and time again. What he did for guys, not only as a teacher, but really giving them what you had spoken about: the discipline, the structure, and the drive for excellence, to do your best, sometimes by knocking a guy down a couple of pegs, and making him climb back up again, which is a lesson for life.
That's what happened to me this year. I mean, the first 2 quarters weren't that bad, but then the last 2, I was getting beat up. But it's it's a life because you have to go through that.
Right.
And I'm glad I went through that before college, because college is a whole different ballgame.
Right. And that was his great thing, was we have to make sure that you're prepared well for all the ups and downs of college life. So he was very proud of the computer science program. He was very proud of the fact that the BC BC Calc here. So I think it's a great legacy that he's given us.
And so you said that Father Comiskey is one of the reasons that you became a priest. Can you just talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it was. I wrote for him on the Lion, and you just, in my time here, both the parish priests in my home parish in Blessed Sacrament, and the priests who were here. In those days, there were 22 brothers in the faculty and 10 priests, and they gave a great example to all of us of a giving of self in service to young people. So they really inspired us. Each was a different personality, but all of them together inspired a lot of us from my time, and I'm convinced right up through today that there are many of the Farrell men who are going to hear and answer God's call. And it's that personal example, each one being the best he could be. Father was a rarity, as I said. Math and computer science, most priests don't teach that. But that was something that you knew there was his talent, and he gave of it to others.
And if you say you went back 20 years, 30 years, and you saw Farrell and saw all the priests and brothers here, and you had to pick one to be here until this later on in their life, would it be Father Comiskey?
I think it's very fitting, but I think really all of the priests and brothers who came through here, each one could have done the same that he did. Really just give that total dedication to the men of Farrell.
Now, what was like your relationship with Father when you came back to Farrell?
Well, it was funny because you come back and then all of a sudden you're not the student. And when I first came back teaching 25 years ago, he was very helpful to me because, like him, when he was first ordained in 1960, he taught in Marymount Manhattan College. So when I was first teaching, I also was teaching all girls. So there's a shift when you go from all girls to all guys in schools. So he was very helpful at that time. And when I came back as principal, it was great.
That's great. So I know, yeah, I mean, it was great to have him, this year. And like, how did he describe his last class? Because I know he was really proud of us. So he would always tell us he was very proud of us.
Yeah, he was very, very happy with this last BC class, and he actually was looking forward to some real good results, which we'll get in August for the exam. But he was very proud of all his students, but especially it was a great last year for him.
Yes.
Good luck. Maybe you get a good grade for
I hope so. I'm praying. But thanks, Monsignor, for coming on.
Thank you, man, for coming in.
And just a quick note I know there was supposed to be an anchor trial today. That trial will be moved to the last day of when you guys get your report card day. So there you have it. Please rest in peace, Father Comiskey. Signing off for WFBN TV. I'm Steve Msgr.
I'm Peter Kennedy from Monsignor Whalen.